Hello video reviewers, I am your transgendered host, Fire Rose, and I am back with a Digimon Figure-Rise Standard Amplified MACHINEDRAMON, or MACHINEDRAMON if you prefer the Japanese dub, but I think MACHINEDRAMON just sounds cooler. And he also looks damn amazing, if I can get the light to not blur, holy... lens flare, I'm so sorry. Come on, focus. There we go. Such a beautiful model kit. And this is the most recent addition to my collection. You get it? It was a Star Wars joke. Alright. Really dumb jokes aside, MACHINEDRAMON, really good. And also quite big. And his size might not look that big right now, but his box definitely is quite chunky. Look at that amazing box art. Wow. Yeah, he's a model kit. Plastic model kit, which means you're gonna have to build it. It's a bit like Lego with a few extra steps. But the box art looks incredible. I hope in the Digimon card game, this artwork is actually used on one of the cards, because it looks incredible. So good. Here are some of his things. He has Infinity Cannon. There's his skull being built. Mega Hand Booster Claw. I don't know what a Booster Claw is. But that model looks so nice. I can stop glaring. Yeah. And the funny thing is, it might look complicated. In all honesty, it's really easy. It's like super simple, even though you might think when looking at the box, oh, this thing is going to be like Gundam Master Grade. No! It can be as tall as one if you stretch out his legs, but I mean, he never stands up in the anime. So why would you? At least I don't think he ever stands up in the anime. I don't recall him standing. I always recall him being squat. Just, oh, he's such an impressive model kit. Like, just to help get the size across, here's an Alucon who has to jump to knee him and headbutt him. A Gundam high grade, that being the Justice Knight. Pretty good. Now let's pull both of these out. And for the Kamen Rider fans, a Wonder Ride book. You could probably eat that thing. If you gave him a bit of time. It's just... oh, it's such a beautiful, amazing model kit. And there are stickers. There are a small number of stickers, but 2 of them you can literally just color in with a Gundam marker. That being the little nose here on his skull knees. I just used the stickers for the eyes because I didn't want to try and color in the eyes and avoid the middle zigzag. But if you do want to use his leg pose ability, you can use it to do something like this. You can make the little skull chomp. But, I mean, I don't really care. It's double jointed knee. There's a joint up here, joint down there. Ankle, I'm not really going to pose the legs because, I mean, it's cool that you can pose the legs, but, I mean, in all honesty, who's gonna? I mean, seriously, he's MACHINEDRAMON. The guy isn't exactly known for standing so tall. But speaking of those Infinity Cannons from the manual, they can be flipped over his shoulder. Both of them. And there we go. I don't know if those are cannons. I don't know if you use those in the anime. But, oh, that's just so menacing, isn't it? And it gets made even better, because if you have some skill, I saw someone actually like drill out the very center and put in a, they put in an LED. And they made the cannons light up, and that looked super cool. But even though the cannon's really cool, I just have him on the back when he's just standing there, because I just don't have him posed. I just have him standing there. Menacingly. Wee-woo. Sorry. Alright. Sorry. Dumb jokes. Bad jokes. Too easy. But Ah, the design. They clearly have amped up the design. Like, they've made small alterations and added extra detail. Like, for one, the extra detail that they've clearly added is the fact that he has eyeballs. Well, eye optics machine stuff. Yep. But sadly, what they actually did to the eyes, you can't see at all. Hold on, let me grab my little torch. Where'd I put it? Where did I put it? Oh no. Oh, there it is. Alright, me being slightly unprepared. Oh, you can't even... Wait, what if I do it on this side? Ah, you can't see it. There's actually a tiny bit of red plastic in there. Like, just like this. But, because his head is so dark, and because I put the stickers on both sides, you can't really make the eyes light up nicely unless you try and put like a super small LED in there with a tiny battery. Which I did see someone do. I don't know if they put like a battery in anywhere else in the body to hide it, to try and charge the head, but oh, that LED looks so nice, and I'm slightly tempted to try and find out what they did, just so I can make MACHINEDRAMON's eyes light up, because, oh, it, like, even though technically his eyes not lighting up is anime accurate, because he just had, like, these big black spaces. He never showed eyes in the anime, I think. Like, ever. I don't even know if they had him light up red. Can't remember. But, oh, this optic detail is just so much nicer than just a black rectangle. It just looks so nice. And the build is really nice, but again, it's really simple. It's also slightly annoying in some places, which I'll show it off, the annoyance. If I can get the backpack off. There we go. The Infinity Cannons have been removed, which the Infinity Cannons come from a different Digimon, a metal something. I can't remember its name. It's like Mamimon or Memamon? Memi? I'm bad with names. What do you expect? But so nice. Like, even without the cannons, he still looks impressive and menacing, which they probably made the cannons removable because of a certain scene. Spoilers. It's funny, I say spoilers, you know, I haven't even watched the anime, I just accidentally came across the scene. But let's go from the head down with the possibility, and we're just going to ignore the legs, except maybe the thighs, because, I mean, yeah. There is head rotation, but be careful, because he has jaw tubing. He can open his mouth. I feel like he could open his mouth before I plug the head on. Can I get it? Nope. Oh, actually, I have the torch, so I can actually show you the fact that I panel line the inside of his mouth. Is it stupid and unnecessary? Yes. Does it make it look like he chomped down on some machinery and his mouth is all filthy from doing that? Also yes. Also did the panel lining to his teeth and made them look dirty. Why? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, tickling my throat. Why did I do that to his teeth? Because you gave me a Gundam panel liner pen. I'm gonna make him look cool as hell. There's actually not even a single joint in his neck. It's all just this rubber tube covered... rubber tube covered in what? A metal rod with rubber on top, so... His neck can do that, but it's kind of springy, so... Yeah, it's a bit difficult to pose the neck. Just fair warning. It's also difficult to pose the tail, because it also has the rubber in it. So, good luck trying to do an animation where he's wagging his tail like a good little Dramon. Why? I have no idea. But, oh, actually, yeah, there's also a head rotation down at the base of the neck. Just be careful you don't unplug anything like I just did. Mine's plugged in all the way, isn't it? I think so. So, the joint that was kind of annoying to build was the inner shoulder joint. It was kind of annoying because you might be able to see that little tooth. So it's a rod with that tiny little tooth, and you feed it on in a specific way, and you rotate it, and it locks it. They really needed that lock somewhere else. But the fact that that lock is there is really cool. You can get some very good in and out motion when you pull the shoulder out. Back and forward. So if you need to do certain poses, he can probably do it, most of them, with the help of that joint. He has a ratcheting joint right here. I don't know if you can hear it. It's a very soft ratchet because it's rubber. It's plastic grinding on rubber, so I don't imagine that to last very long. There's also a ratchet joint here, but yeah, they kind of needed the lock on this as well. Like maybe have you plug it on that and then like that and then rotate it to keep it locked. Because I mean, how many people are gonna really pose, like pull the arm that far in? That is the one of the only two problems I have with this model kit. That being, the first problem being the fact that you can't see the eye properly, which that could be fixed with an LED, kinda. And this, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to tighten that up to make it so when you're rotating it, it doesn't fall off. But it can rotate decently good. You just got to kind of put some slight upward pressure on it. There's also a shoulder joint to go in and out, which is also ratcheted. There's a lot of ratchets on this guy. Probably because he's so beefy. So it's definitely going to help him keep poses while the ratchets still work. There's also a nice elbow joint. There's two of them, so all the way back, all the way forward, and then the second one, which is embedded in the lower arm, helps get it slightly further. And if you're willing to cut some pieces, which it literally tells you to in the manual, ta-da! His claws can move separately. He can wave, he can pinky promise, he can... well, we all probably know what finger that's going to be. Yeah. If you cut them, boom, nice finger articulation or claw articulation. Is it still fingers if it's a claw? Genuine question. At least count as fingers because they're a claw? Oh, whoops, I forgot. There's also a rotation joint. If we straighten that out. There's a rotation joint here at the bottom one, which also can slightly pull out. No, there we go. Yep. But then if we go to the other arm, which comes from a MACHINEDRAMON or GIGADRAMON, you can open up his claws, and he can grab you. Just be careful because these can pop out quite easily. Just be slow and gentle. Actually, so yeah, this claw comes from a MACHINEDRAMON. This claw and the chest comes from a Metal Greymon. The top skull also comes from a MACHINEDRAMON. The bottom jaw and the wires in the stomach come from Metal Tyrannomon. And the skull caps on his knees come from Andromon. Yeah, now that we've done his little claws, we can then go on to his waist, which can rotate, not full 360. It can also extend there at the bottom if you need him to slouch even more and become the hunchback of Damn it, I got nothing. I was going to try and make a joke about Notre Dame and digital, but No, I got nothing. Sorry. I'm not clever. I'm not that clever. But there's also two other joints in here. So you can make him taller, which he doesn't need to be, because if you stretch out his legs all the way, he becomes very tall. Like, taller than a Master Grade, if I remember correctly. He becomes very big. But again, he's a very simplistic build. It's Master Grade size, high grade build, basically. But there are joints in his legs. You can pull out his thighs. They can rotate. You got the double knees, but, I mean, come on. Unless you're doing, like, very specific poses, you're probably not really going to use those leg joints. But his feet also have some pretty cool posability. You got foot, ankle, which the ankle can actually rotate quite a lot. And he can wiggle his little toes. He can cut you with the toes. Wiggly waggly. Waggly, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. But speaking of his feet, though... okay, let's all keep our minds out of the gutter, please. Including me. He has really cool foot detail. Only on the bottom of the foot, not on the claws, sadly. I get like a weird Iron Man vibe from this for some reason. Don't know why. Probably just because like I look at that and go, he can probably just go into space because of those thruster looking things on his foot. But because we're down here, again, please keep your mind out of the gutter. Do you have an action base? Because you can plug it in there. Such a nice model kit. But before we put the infinity cannons back on, there's actually a really interesting detail back here. There's like actually nice detail. They didn't smooth it out. But strangely enough, there's a peg, because these two inner pegs are the ones that get used for the cape. Not the cape, sorry, the cannon. What I meant to say was, the fact that that peg is there, and I just so happened to grab a Justicemon. Not a Justicemon, oh my god. Justice Gundam. Oh, the peg is too small. But I can kind of give him a cape. Oh well. Oh well, the general idea was there. You can probably give him a cape. I think a cape that might probably fit is gonna be Omnimon X and Gallantmon. Which, I do have a Gallantmon on the way. I'm very excited to get that. It's just... oh, it's such a nice, beautiful model. And I'm probably just gonna keep... I might pose him. I might actually use these leg joints in a pose, but... for now, he's just gonna be my little slouchy... destruction... Machinedramon of pure destruction. Because, like, even without posing him, he just looks menacing. He's standing there, menacingly. But a very cool detail, because the claw and the chest come from a Metal Greymon, is they actually kept the Metal Greymon feature. I very delicately open this. Ta-da! Booby cannons, or the missile monster creature things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if Machinedramon ever uses those. And frankly, I wouldn't be willing to find out by looking and by standing in the direction. Because those things would hurt. Because they're missiles that have faces for some reason. Did you know Digimon's kind of weird? But man, I have basically not put this guy down there since I have put him down, obviously, to like sleep and stuff. But I've just constantly been picking him up and doing more and more things to him. Because like, as I said, I panel-lined his teeth. Like, I made them look dirty. I did the inside of his mouth. I also did that same dirty effect on these vents. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. I did it on the vents on the claw. The easiest panel lining dirtiness I did is in here on the elbow. I colored the whole thing in and then wiped it with a cloth, cleaning it mostly, but then leaving it with like this like very dirty, shaded, separate color effect. And it works really well, in my opinion. Like, I love doing that kind of panel lining stuff. Like, it's not really on the Justice Knight here, but like on the chest vents on many different Gundams, I just leave them kind of dirty. Even though I'm never going for realism when I build my Gundam, well, mobile suits in general, it just looks really cool to do that with panel liner. And I did it here on the back vents of the Infinity Cannons. Like, you can see that. That's clearly dirty and not cleaned. And it just makes him look cooler to do that. Like, I'm half tempted to just keep panel lining him, but leaving him dirty. Just give the fact that this guy doesn't live in a forest. If I remember correctly, when the original Digidestin of the first season fight him, he's in, like, the underground parts of a ruined city, right? So I imagine he wouldn't be very clean, so doing, like, this dirtiness with the panel liner makes him look good, but you kind of have to do it in, like, certain areas that would kind of make sense. Like, the claws should be the dirtiest. His feet should probably be very dirty. Venting. His teeth, obviously, because he's probably going to munch on a lot of metal. It's just, oh, it's so nice. Even though there are the drawbacks of, well, this is just a personal gripe, not being able to see the beautiful red clear plastic in the eye, which you can see it perfectly right there and right there. Even though there is a silver sticker behind the eye, just like here in the cheek, just like here in the arm, and here in the other part of the arms, no silver sticker up here. The eye and the fact that twisting this a little bit too much can make it fall off. This model kit is downright amazing, and I highly recommend getting one. He does have a bit of a price tag. Like, mine was $120. But to be fair, I was using eBay, but I was also using a seller from Australia, and they had to import it, so there was, like, the whole import tax. So, yeah, honestly, like, even though I basically paid for a master grade, and technically I got a high grade, because of how he's built, worth it. I don't care. Especially when you take the time to panel line it, worth it. I literally don't care. I very well probably could have paid $150 and still be happy with this. 200 is pushing it. Definitely 200 is pushing it. But just, oh, it's so nice. Like, even though that annoyed the hell out of me, the neck joint, and this also annoyed the hell out of me, the tail. Like, just so beautiful. And I can't wait to have my Gallantmon or Dukemon, English, Japanese, doesn't matter. Pick a name, use it. I can't wait to have them next to each other, because Gallantmon would be my third one, because I do have an Omnimon, but maybe some other time. But, if you love Digimon, and you also like to build model kits, please get a MACHINEDRAMON. It is amazing. And, like, you can see what I mean by the dirtiness, by the way, because in here, in the shoulder joint, like, you can see the darkness, and it's just pure silver over here. Like, that's the effect the panel liner can do if you do it in, like, the dirty style. Like, where you don't perfectly do it on the line, and you just, like, right here, like, if I can focus, come on. Like, right here, this is doing it perfectly clean. But then but then there's, like, 2 instances of not doing it perfectly clean right next to it. It just adds this beautiful effect, and I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot recommend enough doing that dirty panel line. Like, not perfectly cleaning it. So I recommend doing that on him, and also highly recommend getting this model. It is amazing. And I honestly highly doubt I'm ever properly gonna stand him up. Like, I might, like, maybe make him slightly taller, like that. Just because, like, fully squat or slightly standing, he is scary as hell. And I highly, well, not literally scary. Like, if you were actually, like, a proper human, this thing would be terrifying. Because he is massive in the anime, but please, if you're a Digimon fan, get one. It's amazing. Bye. Hope to see you next time.